Okay, welcome to Level 3 Focus. My name is David Graham, or Ultra David, and today I want to talk to you about stupid stuff. I'm not talking about like shenanigans, like a mix-up or something like that, where, you know, if somebody hits you with it, it's, okay, you know, that was annoying, but whatever. I'm talking about really stupid stuff in fighting games, and there is not any lack of it at all. There is stupid stuff, and there has been always. I mean, we're talking about some serious BS that could be, in some cases, game-breaking, always game-changing, and that, you know, whether it's abuse of certain tactics, or whether it's more of like an abuse of strategies, or something like that. Really stupid stuff that just makes you not want to play. The reason I started thinking about this was thinking about Street Fighter X Tekken, and a lot of people think that that game is full of stupid stuff, and it is. It is full of stupid stuff. But that's not to say that that stupid stuff is insurmountable, or that it's the worst stupid stuff ever, or whatever. It has stupid things, but I want to go over kind of the history of stupid stuff, or not the history, but give you some examples throughout, you know, a few different games of things that are really stupid, so that you can see kind of how people deal with it. Where I'm coming from when I say that I don't think Street Fighter X Tekken has that much stupid stuff, and like how stupid stuff can ultimately, in some cases, not be that bad a thing. Sometimes it can actually be sometimes it can be okay. I mean, if you think about it, lots of different games have like really stupid crap in them. I'm a huge hockey fan. I love hockey. Hockey's kind of stupid sometimes. Big hits that somebody gets hit by out in the middle because he had his head down at the wrong time and Scott Stevens was skating at him and he can't play anymore, or he's done for the season, or his playoffs are over. Or if he's Paul Correa, he gets knocked out on the ice and comes back and scores a game-winning goal later on. Ducks! Eat a dick, Scott Stevens. That's really stupid. Flopping in soccer is really stupid. I mean, there are these examples from other sports, or from sports, that are retarded, but people get around it. You know, people deal with it because they love all the rest of the things that go along with those games. And fighting games are definitely no different. With the age of patching, kind of starting to see some of that stuff sort of lessen a little bit, but not entirely. And definitely some of the examples that I'm going to bring out are from current gen stuff. So the examples that I want to bring out in particular are wall dives from Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Shoryuken FADC from Street Fighter 4, and then in Street Fighter X Tekken, both the jab, jab, jab pressure, and also the fact that the game times out pretty frequently. Let's go. So, did you get that video that I put up?
I have it ready to go if you want to.
Yeah.
You want to play it first?
Let's play that. So here's a video of a Claw player, a Vega player. We call him Claw in Super Turbo, whatever. He is really, really good at doing the wall dive BS. The wall dive BS, if you're not familiar with it, is where Vega just goes off the wall and he does yoo and comes at you with either a grab or a hit. The hit knocks you down such that Vega can set up another wall dive. The grab knocks you down such that Vega can set up another wall dive. So if he's successful in either grabbing you or hitting you, by the way, it's the same button, then he goes right back into it again.
One of the earliest option selects.
It's exactly, James points out, it's one of the earliest option selects. It's all you need to do is press fierce either way, or while holding either direction. You'll get either a grab if the opponent's grabbable, or a hit if they're not. Basically, a lot of characters just have to respect this. You just have to guess which side he's going to be on, and if you guess wrong, then you get knocked down and you get to deal with it again. A lot of characters don't have really good ways to deal with it. Yeah, let's play this video. And if you could, can you skip to about a minute, please?
Oh, wow, this is
It's a short video. It's a short video. Yeah, okay, so here's ARG in all of his glory against Honda, my favorite character, in a matchup that lots of people say he wins, but he does not win this, my friend. Let's see how this one goes. Ooh! Yoo! Yoo! Oh, he forgot to press the button there, but there's basically no way for Honda to come back now. He's faced off against a character who, you know, contrary to popular belief, is actually really good defensively in this matchup. He's just doesn't have any good options because he just didn't guess his way out of it. Yeah, just die already so I can move on to the next round. You're dead. You're dead. You know it. Know it. Know that you're dead and die. Know that you're dead. There you go. That's really hard for Honda to deal with, because even if he does jab, headbutt, or butt slam there, he'll still trade with the roll. So okay, everybody knows what he wants again. Here he is. Deal with it. It's so good. Right back into it. And here we go again. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da. He can't do any wall dives there. It's not safe. It's not really a safe range. So instead he backs off to a range where everything's a-okay. Blam. That was stupid. Am I right? Was that not stupid? It was stupid. That was some nonsense. Yeah? Yeah? But this is my favorite game of all time. And that was my character that he was blowing up. And let me tell you why that's my favorite character. Well, no, let me first explain why he couldn't really get out of this. So when Honda is faced with butt slams, he really just has to block. I'm sorry, with wall dives, he really just has to block. If he does a reversal headbutt, he's actually air grabbable out of all of the headbutts. If he does a butt slam, there's one point where this happened, where the claw player will actually fly through and can punish you on the other side. So there's no way that you're not taking damage if the claw player knows how to set this trap up. You just have to try to block. That's really dumb. But it's really not that bad when you come to think of it. He has to really set it up. And here, can you go back to the video?
Oh yeah.
If possible. So Honda's not entirely out of luck, actually. In fact, he probably deals with dives better than a lot of other characters in this game do, even though he still gets blown up by it if he actually gets knocked down. Actually, you know what? It's not a big deal. Just put it over to the game.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's cool.
It's my fail right there.
No, don't worry about it. Okay, cool. So here I am in what's actually HDR, not Super Turbo, but I've put it into the original Super... Wow, I just tried to dash. Holy crap. In the original Super Turbo mode with the same set of characters. Wow, where's start? Oh, yeah, I see. Here, let me put you on. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
Human control. Are you good? No?
No? Oh, you have to hit green button to register it.
I have to what?
So go to training mode options, switch it to human, and hit the green button. There
Oh, this game.
Yeah. There you go.
This game. So, oh.
So now I have to log in as...
Oh, you gotta log in.
Yeah, I'll log in as whatever. I know. Goodness gracious.
Alright, you're good? Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
cool. So, as Honda, here, actually, you know what? You be this guy, and
Okay.
I'll be this guy.
Okay.
As Honda, you have some options. You have a lot of mobility with this, and with butt slam. So here, just do a wall dive. Okay, here, do another one. All right, so there's something I can do, but now do an early wall dive.
Oh, like
Just do it, and then stab early. You know, okay, so there's a little mix-up I can play. Do it again. Or I can do that if I think you're gonna do that. Here, just come at me. You know, I can do this, and then try to pressure. Just
That was totally reaction.
Keep coming at me?
Jump at you.
Here, keep. Oh yeah, I have here, like land right on top of me. Yeah, I can do that too. So Honda actually has a lot of tools that deal with this character. But really what I want to be doing is not even getting involved in that stuff. I want to get the life lead early on and then just stay back here. I really don't, because when you're in the corner, wall dives aren't that great because you can't cross me up. And if you, well, okay, unless I screw it up. You know, I pretty much get that response. That's what I get to do. What it turns out to be in this matchup is that really whoever gets the first hit kind of wins, because that means that he can play his keep away game. Here, like knock me, or I guess whatever, we don't have, the life won't go down. So pretend that you have the life lead. Jump back fierce. Like, I don't really have any good way of doing anything about this. Once he gets the lead, he can pretty much do this, or if he wants to, he can just do wall dives and keep it up and kill me, and if not, then he can do what ARG did, was just stand in the mid range and do rolls. It's a very, very lopsided matchup. But that's not that bad, actually. Let me get you in the corner. Yeah, what do you do about this? Ooh! So let me explain what was just happening there. This is really stupid too. So Honda has a command grab. Half circle back punch. But he has no whiff animation. Watch this. Half circle back punch. Half circle back punch. You know the negative edge thing that you can do in these games, which is a button up is also an input as well as a button down. So once I have this button down, when I press, or when I let go of it, that's also another input for special moves. So if I do this, and then walk forward and do the half circle forward, or half circle back, then I get my command grab. But it's even stupider than that. I can actually just do this half circle motion, and then hold down back, and then just let go of buttons, and I'll get this throw. What that means is that I can do this. And after I do that crouching jab, you can't escape. I'm gonna throw you. And as James did, he did a reversal flip kick, which is Vega's way out of this. I still get to grab him afterwards. So it's a really stupid situation. So I have my own stupid stuff. That's what this game is about. This game is full of really, really good BS. Lots of different characters have this. In fact, most characters have this. And the ones that don't are the ones that are not that great. For example, James's character, Cammy, doesn't really have any stupid stuff. I mean, she has some good things, but she doesn't have anything like negative edge Ochio, she doesn't have wall dives, she doesn't have Sagat tiger shots, you know, she doesn't have M. Bison super, she doesn't have that kind of thing. She's not that stupid, and that's why she's not one of the good characters in this game. So this game, even though, yeah, it has stupid stuff, it's kind of balanced around that fact. And I can still like the game a lot, even knowing that it has that stupid stuff, because that's just sort of how the game is. Within the context of this game, a combo from Fei Long that does 60% damage because he hit one jump in is not that dumb, because he has to hit a jump in for it as opposed to getting a wall dive. And so it's really balanced around this fact. As long as we've been playing this game, wall dives have still been really, really good. They've still been super dumb. And in fact, Tokido came to the US and won EVO basically doing wall dives. It was pretty much what he did, and he won. And in fact, I had a chance to play him at Final Round a couple of years ago in, I think, winners finals, I don't know, something like that, or maybe semis of the ST tournament, and it was Honda versus Claw. And you know what? The matchup went just how I said it did. If he got a knockdown on me, he did wall dives, and then I lost a lot of life, and I probably didn't win that round. But if I got the first hit, then I did my, I'm going to stay away from you, and I'm going to either evade you or just put myself in the corner and not let you do any wall dives at all. And then I won those rounds. So we know how this goes. It's a strategy that's built up around BS. And in fact, one of the reasons that players like this game so much is that it's so full of that kind of thing. So many different characters have that kind of thing that it's really fun, and it's kind of unpredictable at times, but it's not unpredictable in a way that really harms strategy or the outcomes of games. The stupid stuff in this game tends to be something that we have figured out over the years how to turn into strategy and how to use in a strategic way that really maintains our interest. And I just wanted to start off with this stupidest of stupid things, the wall dive in Super Turbo, to kind of lay the ground for the other stupid things that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about, like I said before, in Street Fighter 4, the Wake Up Dragon Punch FADC, or just whatever, Invincible Special Move FADC. And then in Cross Tekken, the jab, jab, jab pressure, and the fact that things time out often. So let's... do we have Street Fighter 4? I guess we have to take a little bit of time to actually get that up.
We can. Just want to take a break real quick?
Yeah, let's take a break. When I come back, we're going to go over to Street Fighter 4, and I'll show you a pretty big contrast in how things in that game are stupid, to the degree to which they're stupid, and how they kind of made us play the game a little bit differently, and in a way that ended up being more interesting. Howdy do, and welcome back to Level 3 Focus. Today we are talking about BS, stupid stuff, in fighting games. Things that make you want to not play, because they're so stupid. Like I showed you before, basically the king of stupid stuff, the thing that we always go back to whenever we talk about whether something is BS in a fighting game, is the wall dive. with Vega in Super Turbo. It's really good. It's really hard for a lot of characters to deal with. Even characters that deal with it better than some others still have significant problems. And yet we all still play that game, and we love that game. And it's one of the best and most strategic games out there. In part, in my opinion, because it has so much stupid stuff. So let's go over now to Street Fighter 4. And in Street Fighter 4, when the game first came out, in fact, not even for a small period of time, for a good year, maybe longer, people were really salty about this. The fact that if you're pressuring me on my wake up, I can do this. Here I have an invincible, safe reversal that you just can't do anything about. If you're in front of me and you're pressing some kind of pressure and I'm waking up here, all I have to do is that, and I'm safe. And of course, if I see it hit, then I can dash forward instead and continue combos and, you know, really make your life annoying. And that was really frustrating to people. In Street Fighter 4, it might be hard to think about now, considering that it's a game, in some people's eyes, of vortexes, was really thought to be a defensive game. A game that discouraged meaties. And I was trying to think about what the terms people were using for the game. I couldn't really recall. There were some really funny things that people came up with about, like, the death of the meaty attack, and the fact that in Street Fighter 4, moves have just a few frames of active animation, which is fewer than they had at that time, and that it was really hard to time meaty attacks. That, you know, the fact that it was 3D graphics with 2D hitboxes slapped on top made it kind of wonky to time things correctly, and all that stuff. It was really thought that when you knock the opponent down, a lot of characters just had to just respect the opponent on wake up. It was really annoying to deal with. And in fact, it did cause a lot of people to move away from the game. They went back to Third Strike, or they just didn't pick up Street Fighter 4, or they continually made fun of it. And it wasn't until games like Marvel 3 came out that they really started to come back into it. I knew a lot of people like that. And even games now, like with KOF 13 or Skullgirls, that's really the first time these players have really come back in a significant way after being so frustrated about that Dragon Punch FADC or Flash Kick FADC or whatever it is. It was really stupid at the time. And I agreed. I thought that it was really dumb. I thought that it discouraged offense in a game that really needed to have that kind of offense if it was going to be any fun, if it was going to be any good. And I had kind of a different approach to it than the people who just gave up on it. Their approach was just, I'm out of here. But I thought that I could do something still. And so in the face of this really stupid stuff, I decided to look for ways that I could maintain meaty pressure in interesting and good ways, and whenever I knocked the opponent down, I would get something good out of it. Keep in mind, I was playing as Zangief. As you can see, this is my dude back in the day. And if I wasn't getting meaty mix-ups as Zangief, then I wasn't a good character. I still think that that's kind of the case. Geef without this knocking down is significantly worse than he was when it did knock down, because it means that he just doesn't get as many meaty opportunities. So I wanted to maximize those, even in the face of Dragon Punch FADC, and I started thinking about ways to do it, and having seen, or I saw somebody from Japan do some kind of minor option select. We had known about option selects for a long, long time. Of course, going back, as James said, the first option select was probably the wall dive, throw, or stab. It's something we've known about forever, but in Street Fighter 4 we really started to bring it in as like an important and consistent gameplay mechanic. So I did something like this. Alright, well, let's see if I timed that correctly. Knock me down. Yeah, okay. That's pretty much what I did. It was a way for me to force the opponent to block on wake up, because if he did anything else, I either beat him out of what he did, or, oh, okay, I timed it a little wrong, it's supposed to follow him, or I followed him up and I was able to punish him. You needed to stand still against these option selects, and if you didn't, you got your ass kicked. And that was the important thing. Now if I'm Geef and I'm in and I force you to block once, great. I can play from there. You know, things are okay. And yeah, I still have to block, potentially, and then do, let's see. Oh, that's actually a cross-up or not sometimes. I kind of don't recall. Yeah. I tried to block one way and then didn't work, and the other one didn't work. But I still have to deal with Dragon Punch FADC after that, but it's a way to at least deal with something at the start. So here's like a different kind of way of dealing with stupid stuff. Don't just look at it as something that kills the game immediately, and that will never get beyond it. And that's just the death of the game. That's oftentimes not the case. In both of the situations that I've shown so far, stupid stuff has come to either played a significant part, as wall dives still do, or in the case of Dragon Punch FADC, we were prompted by the stupid stuff to figure out ways to deal with it. And our response, in large part, was option selects, or now things like semi-unblockables. The fact that you can hit the opponent as they're getting up, such that they have one frame to block either direction, or the correct direction, and if they don't, they get hit. It's really, really hard to block blockables. We have that stuff now, but we wouldn't have that stuff if we had just given up. And it's because we have that stuff, things like DPFADC are really not that stupid anymore. In fact, it's been a long time since I heard somebody really complain about this, of all things. In fact, now it seems like people are complaining about Viper's Wake Up, or characters like Seth, who just have the best Dragon Punch, and that's why we complain about it. It's not really a game-wide sort of concern anymore, because we took the time. And so there are, I guess, two sides of stupid stuff that I want to highlight. The one side is the wall dive. It's still super good. It's never going to not be good. It's a game changer. I mean, you have to respect it. Or FADC, Dragon Punch FADC, which was good for a while, really, really stupid for a while, in fact, but is not ultimately so stupid in the end. In the end, it's just a tactic. It's just part of the game. There are ways around it. You can deal with it. It's really not that bad. And so there's these two ends of the spectrum. Wall dive on the one, and then FADC on the other. And I kind of think that all stupid stuff fits somewhere in between. If people are complaining about stuff nowadays, it's really not so much because of this. I mean, yeah, it plays a part, but interestingly enough, it really plays more of a part on his own offense, which is absolutely the opposite of what people were complaining about when they were complaining about Dragon Punch FADC earlier in the game's life. Then it was a defensive mechanic. Now it's really become an offensive mechanic. And in fact, the times when you see FADC, oftentimes now are when that kind of thing happens. So it's really changed. I also want to talk about cross Tekken, like I said before, and I'll do that. I'm gonna take a break in a little bit, but before, I just want to kind of preface cross Tekken by saying that I really think that its stuff falls more on the FADC side of things. I don't think that it's stupid in the same kind of way as wall dives are. I think that it's stupider in the fact that it has terrible design. It's just a really poorly made game. But I think that we can kind of turn its stupidity over on it, on itself, and make it a good game as players by abusing the things about it that are poorly made, interestingly enough. And I guess I'll show you that in a little bit when we come back to talk about Street Fighter Cross Tekken and jab, jab, jab pressure and timeouts. Okay, welcome back to Level 3 Focus. We are talking about the stupid stuff today. The things in fighting games that make you just so pissed off and you just want to drop it and go play some other game. It's a perfectly normal response, I understand it, but make sure that you think about fighting games as strategy games that have some kind of strategic evolution to them. That's what always happens in fighting games. Things that are super good at one stage are not super good later on in many cases. Sometimes they are. When they are, they're like wall dives. They just don't go away. But when they're not, when they go away, it's more like FADC, Dragon Punch FADC, which was stupid early on and is now really not that big of a concern. This game, as you can see, is Street Fighter Cross Tekken. And in this game, people have been complaining about quite a few things in the game, and some of that is legit. This part is the jab, jab, jabs. Yeah, 5 jabs while walking forward. Notice that she takes a step. Yeah, that looks...
I've gotten 6 before.
Have you gotten 6?
I have.
It might be character dependent.
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe if you're in the corner or something.
Right.
You know. James is doing the cami jab pressure because I don't know the exact timing on it. But it's really difficult to deal with. Here, let me... Here, yoink.
You want to block?
No, it's cool. I'm just going to turn on... Just going to record and stuff for a while. I like the fact that in this game you get to record for 60 seconds as opposed to 10 in Street Fighter 4. That's pretty nice. You know, Raven can do it too. It's really frustrating. You know, Rolento can do it. Not quite as well, but he can do it too. A lot of characters in this game have this, and the reason that this works out is that characters' jabs have really good frame data on them. They're plus frames by quite a bit, and then their jabs startup frames are relatively low, which means that they leave the opponent in a net block stun that's really tight, that it's really hard to get out of. In fact, there are some traps, some jab traps, that are just single frames in between, even on block. And that means that a lot of characters really don't have very good options to deal with that. I brought Hugo in as an example, so let me just do this. Push you into the corner, and then just do dun, 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 dun. Okay, well, let's see. Oh, let me start over. Alright, that should be fine. Yeah. Alright, so let me bring in this fat dude. So, people think that Hugo's really good, and he is good in some ways, but he has really bad options when it comes to the jab pressure. He doesn't have very good range when it comes to command grab. He doesn't have fast normals. In fact, I think all of his normals are 5 frames. I think he has like 1 4 frame. Might be crouching short. You see, I'm trying to press a button in between, and each time I counter, or my normal's getting countered. Let's see if I just... Okay, well, I mistimed it, unfortunately. Actually, you know how to do this, right?
Which one?
You know how to time this against Hugo, where Hugo can't do
SPD,
SPD
right?
or Lariat. Yeah. You know what? Let me switch characters on this while I keep talking. So.
Well, you could turn like one to human, and then we could just try it.
Yeah, but I want Hugo and Cammy on different teams.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, so I'll get that done. Anyway, this is really hard for some characters to deal with, and we've been seeing it a lot in tournaments and in just YouTube uploads that people do this a lot. Or actually, let me make Hugo one of them, and then let me make Kyle my other dude, and then you can be you can be Cammy. And who else do you want to be?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, fine. I'll just make you Raven. That's fine because
he's so much.
He has really good jab pressure for sure. And I just wanted to show this as an example of a character that has trouble dealing with the jab pressure. Just to, if any of you weren't convinced that jab pressure is stupid, just to make it obvious. Okay, so let me turn this to human. Oh wait, what was it? Solo control. Okay, cool. So you can move around?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Just do stuff.
Oh, EX one will go through.
Oh yeah, well there's a range where you're not even in range to get grabbed.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
If I get far
Okay,
enough.
but let me just do the regular, yeah. Oh, that sucks. Oh, well, there's a timing you can use that.
Oh, I could stop if I react to it. Yeah. I'm
telling you, it works.
No, I was comboing you. That's why. Let's try it one more time.
Yeah, there you go. And then I got screwed because it's punishable. That's the nice timing on that. Here, look, his EX grab range is like here. Yeah.
Jeez.
So if you're pressing jabs from max range, then I don't get to do it. Well, okay, if you walk forward. Anyways, the point is that it's hard for Hugo to deal with this stuff. So if you're a Hugo player, maybe you just want to drop it. Maybe you just want to drop this game and just not do it anymore. Maybe it sucks. And maybe maybe this game sucks. It's certainly poorly designed, but there are some things in this game that were designed okay, and not that I think that they designed the game with jab pressure in mind, but if somebody is jabbing against you, here, just do it again. Oh, well, okay. I can just do that, or I can, here.
try to alpha counter?
Yeah. Oh, you know why? I'm thinking I'm Guile, and I get to alpha counter while holding backwards.
Oh, okay. Well, if I can...
There you go. Yeah, finally, I have terrible execution. I'm aware of this. You can alpha counter. Here, do it with this dude.
God, so easy, dude.
Yeah, okay. Right, here, do it again. Oh, okay, again. Well, alright, then I didn't get the EX. Anyway, I don't want to showcase the fact that I have no hands in public too often. Anyway, it's really hard to deal with, but you can do alpha counters. Some characters have, reversals that they can do anyway. Some characters have decent backdashes, some have terrible backdashes, but some have decent backdashes that they can use to get away from stuff. There are things that can be done about this. But ultimately, it seems like it's probably just a pretty good tactic, and I don't really know that it'll go away. But think about it from another point of view. So if you're starting out combos with, jab, 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 right? 4 jabs. Once you're actually hit confirming that somebody is not blocking but instead getting hit, it's going to take you about 3 jabs to find out. And that means, that whatever your combo is afterward is going to do significantly less damage than it would have otherwise. Let's see. What's that? 250? And then when Raven comes in and does whatever combo he does, it's not going to max out much farther than 300. That's not really that big a deal to get hit by in this game, in a game where you have 2 life bars, and yeah, if one of them dies, then you're dead, but you have 2 life bars, a ton of recoverable health, that's possible, and, the ability to switch out at certain times. And 300 damage is really not that big a deal when you have what's effectively a life bar of 2,000. The other fact is that when characters are here, they're not even that close to throwing range. So there's really not that much reason. Here, look. It's like, oh, no, not there. Oh, I'm not there yet. Oh, okay, now I was finally there. You have to walk towards quite a bit until you really have to start worrying about pressing buttons in case of a throw tech. But even if they do throw you, here, throw me.
Throw you?
Yeah, just throw me. All right. Dang it, I took a little bit of damage and then I rolled away. Oh well, it's not that big a deal. So the jab pressure in this game is frustrating to deal with, but look at that. I mean, that's a throw that does 130 damage. Some characters do 150. That's it. It's not that big of a deal to deal with this pressure. The bigger reason why this is a pressure in some cases is the fact that the timer runs out really, really quickly. And people don't want to have to deal with blocking jabs when they have to make a comeback. But I submit to you that that's actually the start of a way to look at this as not being all that stupid. Because that means that the person who is pressuring you with his own jabs, if he has the life deficit, then doing this is pretty stupid. Because that would get him nothing but a maximum of 300, maybe not even that much. The expected damage is, I don't know, 300 or less than that times whatever you expect that you're going to get, the likelihood of getting hit by is, and it's not really that big of a damage output. So this is actually kind of a wasting time for him to be doing this. He needs to make an effective comeback, and just doing this in your face is really not going to do it for him. So once people come to understand that the most important meter on this screen is not over here, it's not down here, it's not up here either, it's actually right here. It's right in the middle. That is the most important meter in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. It's how much time is on the clock, because that means that you can waste time jabbing or not. Sure, if I'm on offense, oh yeah, you're Raven. If I'm on offense and I have the life lead, then yeah, I'm gonna waste time. Sure, yeah, you want to take a risk of doing, of whiffing an alpha counter or something, or that I'll block your reversal. Fine, be my guest. That's not that big of a deal to me. In the meantime, I'm gonna melt seconds off the clock like nobody's business, and that's actually kind of interesting from a strategy point of view. Is it interesting from a spectator's point of view? I mean, maybe that's a different thing. That's a different question in this game. I don't really know if this is a spectator's kind of game, but as far as the strategic use of something that at first blush seems really stupid, it can be kind of interesting. And so, thinking about the timer in this game is something that you have to think about differently. It's not just jab, jab, jab pressure that leads to timeouts. It's the fact that stages are, a mile long. Here, just walk forward. Yeah, so oh my god, okay, and then here's the back. On the other side, we'll get there in a little while. in the meantime, I'm running away from you and throwing out sonic booms and being very annoying and you know. There's that fact. There's the fact that you can roll away after getting knocked down. There's the fact that throws have poor range. There's the fact that combos can take 10-15 seconds even if they don't involve cinematics. All this kind of stuff leads into the game just having a relatively fast timer, which is another thing that looks really stupid. I mean, why are there so many timeouts in this game? We're not used to that. Like, when does that happen in any game? It only ever happens when somebody really, really wants to time out, and only in certain matchups either. If you're playing Super Street Fighter 4 and you have Dawson versus Guile, maybe you'll get a timeout. It's pretty rare still, but maybe it'll happen. If you're playing an ST and you have, I don't know, Guile, maybe you'll get a timeout. Again, it's not very common still, but yeah, it'll happen. If you're playing Marvel 3 and somebody has Morgan Bullet Hell, okay, maybe. It's still not really all that common. But in this game, it seems to happen pretty frequently. And that has led us kind of at first blush to think that the game is retarded. It's really stupid. And from the traditional point of view, that is really stupid, that the game forces you to make timer-based decisions almost immediately. I mean, with 50 seconds left on the clock, players have to make immediate time-based decisions. The timer is super important. If they don't get a hit in the next 20 seconds, that's basically it. Then they lose. That happens in this game, and that's really unusual. And we think that that's stupid, but actually, maybe it's not stupid. Maybe in this case, unlike wall dives, or maybe all we really need is the ability to think about things in a little bit of a different way. So when it comes to jab, jab, jab pressure, maybe we look at that as not being something that forces us to not play the game, but just something that's a little bit different and that we can abuse in a different way than maybe we were abusing it at first. At first it's been for frustration and to get tiny damage combos out of, but maybe its real use is to melt seconds off the clock in a game where the clock is super important. There are these differences in viewpoint that I think are the major differences between this game being stupid and not being stupid. There's also a lot of interesting technology to be built in this game. Definitely part of that is because the game is poorly designed and just has weird bugs in it that we can exploit. But those weird bugs can be made into an interesting sort of thing. So, right now my team I'm screwing around with is Nina Chun or Chun Hwarong or Hwarong Nina or some combination of those characters. Let me actually go to this guy, and then let's see who else is pretty good for this. I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about the ability to do standing resets in this game, which is kind of addressing a problem that I think is really dumb about this game too. I really hate rolls. I think that that's the stupidest mechanic. I think it discourages pressure. I think that it makes pressure harder to build. I think that it contributes to the timer running out too fast. I basically think that it's the root of a lot of this game's ills, and I've spent a lot of time looking for ways to get around that, to just make rolls not even relevant. Whether to, knock the opponent down. Here, let's turn rolls on. Whether to look for ambiguous cross-ups as the opponent gets up from a roll, which you can do, or to look for option selects that deal with both the opponent, staying still or rolling. Some characters have that. They can do, option select jump and sort in a way that lets them do that. Other people have done things like knock the opponent down in the corner and then do like immediate jump. Well, okay, maybe not with sweep, but lots of things that you can do are, put the opponent into the corner, jump into the corner, then jump out, so that if the opponent wants to roll, the timing when he would have rolled is when he's in the corner, and so he just rolls into the corner if he rolls. There are things you can do like that, but that's a little bit too crazy for me. I'd rather just do things, like this. Okay, so there's a combo that results in the opponent standing. And the reason that I really started looking for these things is to address an issue that I thought was really stupid in much the same way as the FADC, the reversal FADC, was in Street Fighter 4. And I really started looking for option selects like I was talking about. I'm addressing the very same kind of issue here, where I have a problem that I've identified as being stupid. The opponent gets to roll away. That's dumb. The solution is something that I have to look for. I have to be kind of diligent about that and looking for setups. And so, I've posted online a bunch of times and looked for collaboration from people who have helped find, standing resets for Chun and for, Hwarong and Marduk and Jury and Sagat and just a host of other characters that don't really have to worry about rolls as much anymore because of this. So there are two main ways to deal with stupid stuff in the end. Well, three, I should say. One is to give up. You're done. You don't want to deal with it. I'm out of here. Fine. The other way is to look at things as an evolution of strategy. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to the jab, jab, jab pressure. Maybe we start looking at jab, jab, jab pressure as not being entirely stupid and devoid of worth, but rather being something that can help us out in a game when it comes to building strategy and messing around with what is, like I said, the most important meter on the screen, which is the timer. So that's another way to deal with it. Look at things as part of strategic evolution. The other way is to look for different tactics. It's something that we did with wall dives. Players well before me looked for things like Honda jump back jab or jump strong to deal with wall dives, or put themselves into the corner where they would do jab headbutts on reaction to dives, or waking up with roundhouse butt slams, or doing stand fierce when the opponent is very close to them over their head so that they get the chop. These are things that people looked for, specific little tactics that help them turn the tide of what was otherwise a really, really stupidly good tactic. Tactic that basically became an entire strategy. And I think that's what happened when Street Fighter 4 with Dragon Punch FADC, that people changed their strategy a little bit. They didn't kind of pressure, rarely do you see, well, not rarely, but you don't see somebody pressuring from the front like this as often in Street Fighter 4. Usually it's, from cross-ups or even from a little bit further away, something like that, or, in frame traps, that kind of thing. And so that, there was a change in tactics, but it was also, a change in strategy, but it was also a change in tactics. We looked for things like option selects to help us make the meaty situation good, even in the face of a game that seemingly didn't want it to be good. And I think that's what we can do in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, make, rolls not that useful. Oh, wrong one. Because, so the opponent knocked down there, that sucks. Come on, man. There you go. Yeah, now you're right there. Deal with that. You just lost 440 damage, and by the way, you're in the corner and you can't roll. And the way that we get there is by a change in tactics. To deal with what was formerly, well, it's still kind of stupid, but what was formerly a problem in my eyes, at least. Now I have Nina here, and she has, cool overheads. What's her overhead? Oh, it's something wonky, right? Yeah, that one. Or I can, go low instead. She has all sorts of tricks from that range. She has really good normals. I put myself in a great situation after dealing a lot of damage. And that way, rolls are not as stupid anymore. So I hope that people don't give up on Cross Tekken because it seemed really stupid at first. Again, I think that it is pretty poorly designed, and a lot of the stuff that we can make the game be fun with, I don't really think is intended. But nevertheless, we can make it into a fun and interesting game if we don't just look at things as stupid and then walk away, but take the same kind of mindset that we've had in dealing with wall dives and with Dragon Punch FADC and a lot of other stuff. I thought about showing Chun-Li's back fierce in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I thought about showing Morgan Bullet Hell. I thought about showing, Sagat Crouching Fierce or whatever, Sagat Fierces, which were super good at some point in CVS2. There's a lot of stupid stuff over the years in lots of different games. And almost all of it has gotten to the point where it's become important in strategy and interesting in a kind of way, like with wall dives, or currently, in my opinion at least, with Morgan Bullet Hell, or a lot of it also has also been kind of solved, at least to some extent. So that's the case with DP FADC, it's the case with, Sagat Fierces, that's the case, in my expectation at least, with rolls in this game and with jab, jab, jab pressure. We can get around that kind of stuff. So, anyway, BS is ultimately not that stupid, and it's something that comes in every game, and You know, don't run away because you see some of it, because you're always going to see some of it. Even in games that people love right now. Don't think that Skullgirls doesn't have stupid stuff, because it does. And don't think that KOF 13 doesn't have stupid stuff, because it does. That's just how games are. And it's something that if you want to play fighting games, you have to come to understand, and you have to be willing to work around. Okay, so let's take a break, and when I come back, I want to do Ask Ultra David, and then also if we have any community shout-outs, then we'll do that then. See you in a bit. Hello, welcome back to Level 3 Focus. Before we get into Ask Ultra David and then the community shout-out segment, I just want to address something real fast that somebody said. Well, I guess make me bigger right now, because this thing is for later.
Oh, okay.
So the fraud says, work around a bad game, not sick. Thanks. Good job, dude. Nice spelling. That's totally the wrong attitude. Every game has stupid stuff, was the whole point of the show. And even games that you might think are awesome, they have stupid stuff. It's just everywhere. I mean, you have to come to expect that kind of thing. There's no fighting game made that doesn't have stupid stuff. It's seemingly inescapable. And like I said, some games are kind of balanced because of that. Super Turbo, a lot of the characters have really stupidly good stuff, and that's kind of why that game is balanced. Like I said, some of the characters that don't have stupid stuff, those are the characters that are not that great in that game. In Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you know, yeah, the top and high tiers were a mile above characters at the low end of the tier, but ultimately in tournaments, the reason that game was successful was that the characters that people played all had stupid stuff, and that was fun and interesting and made the game more exciting. In Cross Tekken, yeah, I mean, there's totally stupid stuff. There's a ton of stupid stuff in that game, but you can either, like I said, overcome it or view it differently or use it, and each one of those things is legit and can get the job done. You know, in KOF 13, man, I don't know how many times I've played with people who have Shen on anchor, and somebody starts yelling Wesker, like, immediately, because people know that character, when you're on anchor with him, can just end a character's life, and it's not even hard. I can do that combos. I can do those combos, and that's saying something. That's stupid, I mean, in a way, that a character can kill that easily once he has, 4 bars. That's kind of dumb, but it's part of that game, and a lot of characters in that game have really stupidly good stuff, and that's kind of why that game is balanced. Or seemingly balanced, anyway. I know that there's going to be an update. Actually, I just had a chance to play the update, Climax, in NorCal.
Oh, that's right.
Anyway, yeah, it's in every game. You got to come to expect it, and if you're going to play fighting games, you have to understand that it's going to be in there, and you have to understand that most of it can be overcome, and the stuff that can't be overcome ultimately tends to end up being an important part in the strategy of the game. So, okay, anyway, good job, the fraud. Spelling stuff wrong. Unacceptable. So, Ask Ultra David. If you would like me to answer something, please, on Twitter, send a tweet either to @UltraDavid or to @UltraChen using the hashtag AskUltraDavid, and I will respond. Or you can send us an email at ultrachentv@gmail.com. So, let's see. One example, and the reason that I turned on Street Fighter 4, if we can go back to that, was from Patmans. Do Street Fighter characters really need 30 normals? And it seems most games have jumping normals that just go to waste. Man, I used to be all about that. Back in the day, when I was playing, occasionally in the arcades, most likely on Super NES, because I didn't really go to the arcades back then, I pretty much just stuck to the right side of the buttons, which I guess was the left now that I think about it, because I was playing pad back then. But it was this, the Fierces. How would I bother pressing a button if it didn't do as much damage? What's the point of that? That doesn't get you very far. The reason that a character has different buttons is not just to fill out the 6 buttons on the controller, but they tend to be at different spots on screen, and even when they're kind of at the same spot, they tend to have different hitboxes. So these two, this is crouching jab, this is crouching strong. One of them has better range than the other one. One of them is faster than the other one. One of them is cancelable. The other one is not cancelable. He has this big, this is one of his Fierces. This is another one of his Fierces. One has better range and is faster. and does 2 hits to break focus. Its Crouching Fierce does focus, breaks focus too because it does 2 hits. So I mean, there are all these different uses. You want to take up certain spot on screen. You know, this is toward short. This is toward medium kick. This one is considerably faster, but doesn't quite go as far. This one goes farther, a little bit slower, but it also has a sick hitbox on it that's actually really good in footsies that you don't see often enough. It's really strong. Yeah, I mean, it beats Shoto Crouching Medium Kick. That's pretty good. You have to know that kind of stuff. And if you want to play competitively, you have to take into account what each one of your buttons does. It's not just the ones on the ground. It's the ones in the air. Which one is good if I'm coming in for a jump in to deal max damage. Which one can work as a cross-up if I have a cross-up. Which one deals with characters who are jumping up here in the air or above me. Which one deals with people who are jumping below me. I mean, there are all these different things, and which one has not that much block stun so that I can do this, right into the command grab, or which one has more block stun so that I can't go immediately into it, but I have to stagger it a little bit, or even use as a hit confirm or something like that. All these different uses for all sorts of buttons, and so no, they're not redundant. I mean, there are some situations where characters have redundant normals or normals that suck. Legitimately are bad, and in those cases you don't use them, but that's actually pretty rare. I mean, I played Q in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and he had some ass-tier normals, but, I found uses for Far Stand Fierce, which is the crappy one where he kind of like zombies forward and knocks down. I found uses for that. I found uses for, the Far Stand Roundhouse Boot. I found uses for, let's see, like close jab and like all sorts of things. You find stuff to use, and if you're going to maximize what your character has, then you have to know what all of his buttons do. I remember this awesome quote from, I can't recall who, but the quote is, "No normals, no game. No normals, no game." Yeah? Right? If you know your normals, then you know your game. But if you don't know your normals, if you have no normals, then you have no game. You really have to know each one of the normals that you have to be effective. The other question is, how do I use air throws? I only ever land them by luck or not at all if it's a game with 2-button throws. Yeah, I mean, air throws aren't that big a deal for the most part. Some characters have useful air throws. If you're Vega in this game, one of your go-to things in a lot of different cases is air throw, jump air throw. You have to, in some cases predict, mostly predict. In some cases, you can react, and it really just depends on which character you're using, what the matchup is, and yeah, they're not awesome. I mean, they're rarely awesome, but sometimes they are, and you got to know that kind of stuff. For example, one thing you can do with air throws in ST, if you're pressuring a waking up Honda and you're Guile, and you throw a Sonic Boom at him, and then you do a jump toward and then a jump back Fierce. The jump back Fierce can be timed such that if he does a headbutt, you'll knock him out of the air, and if he doesn't, if he does a butt slam, you'll actually throw him out of the air with your air grab. So there are these little things, but no, in general, it's not really something that you need to fret too much about. If you have trouble landing them, not a big deal. This guy has an air throw, and I land one, once every, 5-10 matches. It's just not, even though it's an okay thing, it's just not that great. Man, this Ken thing's spazzing out. It's really starting to bug me. And then on Twitter, Jason Jen Lee says, question for Level 3 Focus. David talked about finding solutions for BS. How would you go about stopping the awful Street Fighter 4 Vortex? That is a very good question, and in Street Fighter 4, the Vortex is currently the stupid stuff. Like I said earlier, it was Dragon Punch FADC, now it's Vortex. If you don't know what Vortex means, it's a set of options that a character has that if they hit as the opponent is getting up, you go right back into whatever the thing was in the first place. So if Ibuki knocks you down, she can mix you up with the kunai mix-up, you're not really sure which side she's on. If she hits you, then she does a hard knockdown so that you can't quick get up, and she throws out another kunai, and you have to guess whether she's on the left or right side again, and if you guess wrong, then you're right back into it. I mean, if that sounds familiar to you, then it should, because we just talked about wall dives, and that's something that is stupid in ST, but has not killed the game. And I really don't think that the Vortex in Street Fighter 4, with all of its many more escape options, is and considerably less damage, is that big of a deal. I mean, it's annoying. Like, don't get me wrong. It's annoying when you get knocked down by an Ibuki or a Seth or an Akuma or a Viper or whatever Vortex character you want to call it. That's frustrating, and you might die. You know, you might lose. The best situation right now is to guess. You have to go into it and see it for yourself. You know, if you're worried about Ibuki kunais, you have to realize that some characters she does it better than others. Some characters can do, you know, focus dash, or some characters can just escape. You got to look into it, see what your character does. If you're one of the characters that has to sit there and take it, the best situation is to not get knocked down, and that's like what I was talking about with the wall dive VS. So when I'm playing Honda versus Claw, I don't want to get knocked down. I want to get the life lead and just turtle my ass off. And if he gets the first hit instead, then that's my fault. That's my strategic error for letting myself get hit. And I kind of feel the same way about Vortex and Street Fighter 4, where it's good. I don't think it's as good as wall dives were. I don't think it's going to kill the game, or shouldn't kill the game anyway. And if you have trouble dealing with it, you know, welcome to the club. I get hit by it, but it doesn't kill the game for me. You have to view it as something that is just part of the game, and if you can't deal with it once it starts happening, you know, Street Fighter is a game of consequences, like any strategy game is, and you have to go back through the chain of consequences and see when those mix-ups started getting to you. And if they started getting to you because you got knocked down, then the solution is next time don't get knocked down. And that sounds kind of simplistic, but that is, it's up to you to not get knocked down. It's on you. You got to deal with it right then. So, all right, I guess that's it for Ask Ultra David for the day. I'm going to bring on Mr. James Chen, and we will talk about community issues, you know, locations. Yeah, here, let's scoot you in here. What's up, James?
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? So as always, at the end of the Monday night programming, we want to have a little bit dedicated to different scenes all around the world. And what we're trying to do is alert people to the fact that there might be scenes local to them that they might not know about, or if you are the scene and you're trying to, you know, maybe you want to try to encourage people who don't know about you to find you. And we have, you know, we've been contacted from all over the world, and I think again today.
Yep, and again, when we talk about this, please give us some pertinent information, like how people can contact you. Yeah. But more importantly than that, please tell us where your scene is.
Okay.
So I have a message here from a fellow named Goshton, I think it is, and he's talking about trying to plug his local tournaments. He says he's been doing them free to run because he can use the space and equipment on loan. Plan was to fundraise for the building, though, since it's where I volunteer. Problem is that he hasn't gotten more than 20 people at his event yet.
It's not too shabby.
Yeah, but he would like to get more and such. He has a Facebook group. The group is called Squadron Gaming Tournaments. And he says on the Facebook group they play all sorts of games. Watch this page for upcoming tournaments and events. And Squadron Gaming Tournament, you did not put down where you're from at all on your Facebook page. And you did not tell us where you're from in your email. So there's really not much we can do to help you guys. If you are listening this or if you are reading this.
Squadron what now?
Squadron Gaming Tournament. They have a Facebook group, Squadron Gaming Tournaments.
Let's see if I can do a little bit of research here on the fly.
Ooh, you're going to SRK forums.
I am going to the SRK forums.
Smart
Let's see where this is.
Langley,
West Midlands, UK.
So this is.
All right, so we're in Britain. All right.
This is in Britain.
Good stuff. Would not have known. It could have been anywhere in the world.
All right, so where's that again? Langley, West Midlands.
Vicarage Road, Langley, West Midlands, UK.
Yep, there you go. So. Sick. Okay, so now if you live anywhere around there, now you know there's a tournament group out there. Squadron Gaming Tournaments is their Facebook group, so look them up there. They have about 70-some members there, so I'm sure, you know, it would be awesome to grow some more players out in that area. So.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
But definitely in the future, please let us know where you're coming from so that we can, you know, do a little bit better job of helping find a better scene.
Have we not talked about this Las Vegas scene, the Immortal Gamers League.
I don't think we actually have talked about that.
Okay, so IGL opened up recently in Las Vegas as sort of a central hub for the Vegas scene. And, you know, there is also another Vegas scene. A lot of people go to insert coins to play as well. Yeah. So, but IGL is another group here, mostly Capcom games and MK9, but Soul Calibur, Tekken, KOF, even Arcana Heart once in a while. They average around 50 to 60 people for their local tournaments and have 2 venues, which is the IGL Center itself and Gemini Arcade Palace. They've had a few players like Hanzo Gonzo, Royal Flush, LLND, Answer, and Bala show up and stuff like that.
Really?
So.
Wow, okay.
Oh, wait,
awesome.
no. I think they sponsor them. Because I see IGL.
Oh, yeah.
I
totally see that. You know,
Hanzo
I didn't know that was based in Vegas. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I remember seeing IGL, LLND, IGL, The Answer, and IGL Bala and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've never heard of Hanzo Gonzo, but yeah, the other ones I know.
Yeah, Hanzo Gonzo, I don't know. I don't think he exists. So, but in any case, they have a Facebook page. They have a stream. They're top tier gaming on Twitch TV. And they do have a Facebook page. Again, so we'll tweet this stuff. Did we tweet any of this stuff?
No, I totally forgot.
Okay,
so I got a good 5 or 6 tweets
got like
to
3
put out.
3 weeks of stuff to put out. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, IGL. Yeah, now that I think about it, I see them all the time on the players' names. IGL, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
I just didn't know that was from Vegas.
I didn't even
that's cool.
think about that. So okay, and I want to do one more group here. Let me see. This one is from, so obviously San Diego has Box Arena, and so there's a bunch of people there who play, but this guy here, Wallace, is emailing me about the San Diego Dust Loop community. They've recently had a small boom in population going from 4 people to about 10. Are trying all sorts of ways to get it bigger. They play BlazBlue, they play Guilty Gear, Skullgirls, Vampire Savior, and even the Persona fighting game. Of course, it's harder because there's a lot of other games out there like Street Fighter and such, you know. And he says the KOF scene in San Diego is in dire straits from lack of players and lack of exposure, and they're trying to avoid a similar fate.
Okay.
So they're trying very hard to grow the anime fighter games. You know, I don't even want to call them that. I hate calling them that because that's such a stigma already. You know what I mean?
Sad life games. How about that?
Guilty sad life games. Did you say?
No, that. Yeah, never mind.
Guilty Gear, Skullgirls, Vampire Savior, Persona.
Some of my favorite games.
Yeah,
sure.
they have a lot of matchmaking stuff in the Dust Loop forums, matchmaking section. Cool. Go check out the San Diego thread. They have a new Facebook group called Dust Loop SD. They hold casuals that Friday at Frubble, the same place that the Box Arena is, from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. And you know they say here that you know they know that there's a lot of California scenes, and we want to mention a lot of ones that are more obscure.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Yeah, so there's that right there. Again, cool. Facebook groups Dust Loop SD, and we will tweet that to everybody when we get the chance. So,
that's correct.
Yep. And so I think that's it.
I think there was one more that like just got sent to me, but I guess the guy hasn't replied. Yeah, so Evo Biohazard from the chat is from Norway, from Alto.
I think
Norway?
He just wants a shout out. I think that's all he wants.
No. Oh, now I forget if it was Alto or Alta. Alta, Norway,
okay.
Which is even farther north of Tromsø, and so you really got to be up there if you want to live and play with him. But if you are, then he didn't give me any contact information at all. Congratulations.
Yep. And okay, so I think that's about it. I want to thank everybody for watching our show because certain thing comes out in a couple of hours, so I think everybody's free time will be gone, and no one will ever watch any streams ever again, and just be playing Diablo all day. So, because I know everybody has just been I swear I've never seen this many Twitter messages like only 5 hours, only 4 hours left.
Dude, I went on Secret Chan. That place is a ghost town.
Really?
It was like a ghost town when I was in there earlier. Like nobody was
crap.
talking. They were all like biding their time, waiting for this thing to come out. So, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow when we do the Tuesday show or whatever it is we're calling it tomorrow. Tuesday at 8 p.m. sandwiched in between Wake Up SRK, which is at twitch.tv/Keats. That'll be news of the day and also a guest. And then us at twitch.tv/UltraChenTV. talking about whatever. And then after us is Cross Counter Live at youtube.com/thestreamtv.
Yeah, and shout outs to Twitch TV. Apparently, Level 3 Focus was on the front page today. So
Hey, all right, thanks. Awesome.
All right.
Cool. See you guys.
Peace out, everybody.